Welcome to R2H News. With me, your anchor, never newsworthy. It's been fantastic in the last week covering the Easter celebrations in Jerusalem. Today we're cutting across to find out a bit more about the New Testament. Yes, we know the Gospels tells us about Jesus' life and death and resurrection, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. But what about the rest of the New Testament? What books are those? And of course, there's no better reporter to cut across to than Joe Blogs. And I cut to Joe now and find out. Joe, are you there? Joe Blogs, are you there?
Yeah, Never. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Joe. Lovely to see you. Just answer us one more question. What about the rest of the New Testament? What kind of books are these?
They are called the epistles. And they are actually letters. 21 of them.
Oh, wow. So there's 21 letters that make up the rest of the New Testament. And who wrote these letters?
Well, there are a few authors that wrote these letters, but there's one main author called Paul, and he wrote 14 of them. These letters are called Romans, Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Thessalonians, Timothy, Titus, Philemon, and Hebrews.
Wow. So Paul was dominating in the New Testament. He wrote 14 of the 21 books, and they were all letters to different churches. What about, who else wrote some letters to churches?
There were a few other authors. James, who wrote one of the letters. Peter, he wrote 2 letters. And there's some guy called John, he wrote 3 of them. And there's also Jude, who wrote another one letter.
Okay, fantastic. So there were other guys writing letters. Paul, James, Peter, John, Jude. These are the guys who wrote the rest of the New Testament books that were all letters to different churches. Thank you so much, Joe. We're just going to wrap up the news now with some news on travel. Well, travel in Harare, there's going to be congestion from 7 a.m. in the morning through to not past the curfew, but 10 p.m. at night. There will be congestion right across the city. So what we have decided to do is create ways of slowing down the traffic. Not speed humps. No, they don't work. We are putting in potholes everywhere in Harare. And so the potholes will be all over on every road. And just one word of warning. When you are approaching a pothole, if you feel you see a cat in the hole, please slow down and be very careful. Because as you arrive at the pothole, it's likely to be a giraffe. Never newsworthy, roll to home news.
Hi guys, I am Auntie Glynis, in case you've never seen me before. I am from The Rock, based at the Eastleigh site. I'm part of the team that is called Diamond. So today I'm here to show you something special. Who can tell me what this is? Have you ever seen something like this before? If you've said it's a driver's license, yes indeed, you are very right. I wanted to show you this today because it is very important that we have licenses in order to do many different things. In order for me to be able to drive on the road, I needed to pass some tests to show that I know the rules of the road and that I would not put anyone in danger. Because if you did not have this, you would get into serious big trouble. So believe it or not, adults have to get licenses, just the same way that kids have to get permission when they're asking for stuff. Today we are starting a new series and it is called Under Construction. Have you ever been to a construction site? Construction sites are usually big, noisy areas full of bulldozers, cranes, and men that are wearing hard hats, supervising the work and telling everyone what to do. Usually a construction site is something that is happening to create a new restaurant, an amusement park, or could it be a school? Lots of fun things take place at the construction site. So anyone that would like to build a structure of any sort has to get permission from the local building department. Without getting permission from them, it would be considered illegal to build a restaurant or a school or anything like that. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? more or less like childhood. You always have to ask for permission to do anything. You can't just go to your mom's pantry and take some sweets. You have to ask for permission. Can I have some sweets? Can I go out and play with my friend from next door? I found a dog. Can I keep this dog? So I know it sounds strange that adults have to ask for permission too, but we do have to ask for permission. Like if we want to get married, if we want to build, if we want to do anything, we also have to ask for permission. So the first story in our building series is talking about a project that happened many years ago, the first of its kind recorded in history. There was a group of people that decided to build a tower all for themselves, to make a name for themselves. And this tower, I'm sure you have heard it before, it was the Tower of Babel. They wanted to build a tower so high that it would reach the heavens. But they forgot that at the beginning of time, when God created Adam, he told Adam to go out and be fruitful and multiply so that God's glory would be all over. He wanted his people to be all over the earth. But these guys decided to build this tower. God didn't like what was happening. And the writer of the story said that God came down. God came all the way down. Sounds funny, right? They wanted to build a tower to go all the way up to reach the heavens. But God saw it and he looked down and he says, this is too small. So God decided to come down. He confused their languages. They could no longer understand what they were saying. So the instructions they couldn't follow, they were so confused. So they decided to pack up and go their own ways. The Bible tells us that God opposes the proud. And in doing this, he did not want his people to grow up being puffed up and doing as they feel. Because at the end of the day, it is for his glory. Many years later, the time of Pentecost, God sent his Holy Spirit to fall upon his people. And they started speaking in different languages. And this was for his glory once again. They could go out and fill the earth and speak in different languages so that people could understand each other. How amazing is that? When God just comes through and he does things at the right time, it is perfectly according to his plan. So children, I know some of you may be thinking at some point, in some stage, most of you actually, that when I grow up, I'm going to do whatever I want to do and nobody's going to stop me. But I'm sad to tell you that unfortunately that may not work out, because at some point, somewhere down the line, and more often than not, you are going to have to ask for permission. If you want to become a doctor, for instance, you need to get permission to practice medicine. You need a license to practice as a doctor. If you want to drive, you need a license. If you want to fly an aeroplane, you need a license. So as we're going along, you are going to have to ask someone, somewhere, for permission to be able to do everything that you need to do. Okay, so children, as I had said before, if you have a dream or if there's something that you want to do, it is important to remember that God has these amazing dreams and plans for us. So we have to submit everything to him. If we are wise, we will surrender to God. We will build our lives in him. We will look to him and we will listen to his instructions and have the wonderful hopes and dreams he has for us. They will all happen according to his perfect plan. Our memory verse for this week is coming from Psalm 127, verse 1a. Unless the Lord builds a house, the builders labor in vain. Simply put, we need to commit everything to God. And if God is not part of our plans, it may not work out. Okay, so children, your craft for today is making your very own license. It doesn't have to be this big. It can be small, but a reminder that you can put in your pencil case, in your backpack, in your wallet, something that will tell you and remind you that you need to have a license and you need to ask for permission. And the best person to ask permission from first is God. So you can make it small, you can draw your picture, you can write your name, your date of birth. Better still, if you remember when you first got to know Jesus Christ and he came in your heart, put that date on your license. Make it as colorful as you like and keep it with you at all times. Bye for now.